What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Back with this week's car auctions. It just refreshed earlier today, so all new 7 days worth of auctions. Gonna look through it. Want to give a big thank you to all of the new subscribers as well as the ongoing ones. I think we're one away from hitting 900, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, gotta give my usual disclaimer before we get into this that none of this is, financial, legal, or tax advice. Just giving my 2 cents, so, do your own research before you buy anything. Starting off, we got a 1996 General Hummer, which is going for a lot more money than I would have expected. But I don't really know what Hummers go for. I mean, it looks like it's like decommissioned military, rather than like the H1 Hummer that you can buy just from a dealer. But I don't know a ton about Hummers, so I guess we'll take a look. The interior makes it look like it is a military vehicle that has been, converted for civilian use, but cool vehicle nonetheless. I never really got the appeal of the Hummers, but to each their own. Next up, we got a 2011 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo XMR. These actually, I'm not a huge fan of the, bulkier kind of size style of car. I'd kind of group this in with the WRX in terms of profile, but I actually think it looks pretty nice. The MR designation stands for Mitsubishi Racing. I think it's used on some of their other high-performance models. I think there's a GTO with an MR designation as well. But 291 horsepower. It is kind of unfortunate that they discontinued these, because I think a lot of people were really big fans of them, and I think they look nice. But I believe they stopped making them in 2016, early 2016. But it looks like he's debadged the rear of the car, which I do think looks nice. 80,000 miles on this puppy. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona, going for $7,000 currently. And yeah, looks like it's got some aftermarket parts. Actually, those might be part of the MR trim, so maybe not. But yeah, clean looking car. We got looks like just a S4 here. These are, nice looking cars. I know I crap on Audi for being kind of generic looking, but they're nice looking cars. I think this one in particular looks especially clean. You guys know I'm a big fan of the 4-door over the 2-door variant, so I think proportionally this car looks really nice. It's currently going for $21,750, about 20 hours left, 44,000 miles, and it's in St. Louis, Missouri. Got plenty of ice on it, looks like. And we got a special one here. Not even sure if we've seen a McLaren yet on these videos, but here we have a 2018 McLaren 570S Spider in Mauvine blue, which to me is insane because it's clearly purple, unless I'm colorblind, but that would be news to me. But I think this is technically, or was technically, the entry-level McLaren when it came out. I don't know if it still is. I know there's the 540 might have been cheaper, but I don't think they make it anymore. Maybe it's not sold in the US. I don't know the specifics of that, but still, obviously a very expensive car. It's at 110 grand with about 20 hours left. Very, very fast car. It's a McLaren. I'm talking sub 3 seconds, 0 to 60, I'm pretty sure. Interior honestly leaves a little bit to be desired, but I think the outside more than makes up for it. I mean, it's just a phenomenal looking car. Super clean. this is blue. You guys tell me what you think. It's got the sunroof there, it looks like. Yeah. Carbon fiber accents. Just, it's a gorgeous car. It's a work of art, really. I do really like McLarens. They're just so expensive. Got an old Range Rover. Got a Mercedes AMG GLA 45. Not a bad looking car. Not a huge fan of the GLAs. If you guys don't, I've definitely talked about it before, but how the Mercedes like naming works is, well, for sedans, it's A-class is like the, I guess, compact class. C is more of like their base, normal size, mid-size car. And then it steps up, so E is like mid-range, and then S is top of the line. And then for the SUVs, you have basically all the naming starts with GL, so that indicates that it's an SUV. And then to some degree it follows the naming scheme of the sedans, but I don't want to say that the letters all correspond exactly to how the sedan's kind of performance line is laid out. So GLA, this is the like entry-level smallest SUV. I don't remember exactly what the numbers afterwards mean. Then you have the GLC, which is like the smaller SUV, but bigger than this. Previously called the GLK. And then the mid-size would be the GLE. So kind of still following that same ACE there. The GLE is the mid-size SUV. Used to be the ML. I think I've talked about that before as well. And then the big one, the like 3-row SUV that used to be the GL is now the GLS. But yeah, I don't really like the overall kind of like profile and shape of the car. I think it looks too much like a hatchback. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but I'm not a fan of that kind of style. If I'm gonna go SUV, I want something like at least like an X3 size. So probably would be GLC for Mercedes. But obviously it's an AMG. It's a nice looking car. You get Mercedes quality. There's all that, but I'm not even a huge fan of the interior of this specific one. It doesn't look to be in great condition, but it's not bad at all. Moving on, we have another old military vehicle, a Land Rover Defender. I always think it's cool when the cars have the, is that the air intake or the exhaust, can't remember, that like runs up the side of the car so you could like drive in water essentially. Got a Golf All-Track. These are kind of cool, these Corolla GTS coupes. Back in the day, my understanding of it is that they were like pretty nifty cars to have. I actually believe this shares an engine with the Toyota MR2, which I've talked about a couple of times, but actually not a bad looking car, it has the pop-up headlights. It's a coupe, obviously, but definitely showing some signs of wear. Going for $9,633, 138,000 miles in Virginia, with about 22 hours left. Kind of a decent amount of money. Got a Taycan. I know I usually skip over these because it's like, what's another EV? Kind of bored of seeing Teslas on here already. But I'm just really not a fan of the profile for an EV. It's actually pretty slow. I think the 0 to 60 on like the base Taycan is like, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, Taycan, is like 5 seconds. Like something just ridiculous, and I think you can get it faster with other trims, but it's like, it's already so expensive, and you're only getting 5 seconds 0 to 60 on a Porsche. Ridiculous to me. So yeah, I mean, there's that. Interior, meh. I mean, it's futuristic. It's the same kind of like Tesla approach. I just don't know if I'm sold on it yet. Got an old Mustang, Rivian 3 Series, Porsche Cayenne. Got a decent looking S5 there. Got a CRX. I've definitely talked about these before. Kind of nifty little car. I actually think they were like based off of an Alfa Romeo, because like the designer owned one. But I don't know, I've seen pictures of both. I don't know if I necessarily see the resemblance. But nifty looking car. Don't love the way it looks, but it's like got that like classic Honda look. Some sort of harvesting vehicle. That's a crazy thing to sell on here. 911 Carrera. This is kind of a cool old 3 Series. 1981. I do like that green a lot. 320i. Very clean looking car. What's it going for? $5,300. Wow. 23 hours left. 160,000 miles in California. I mean, it makes sense. It's very old, and I don't think it's anything crazy collector-wise. Got the Type R version of my car. The blue is kind of cool. Red calipers looks good, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings on the Type R and the SI color schemes for Honda. They kept trying to push me into one of these when I was buying my car because I didn't want the base trim because I wanted some of the other features, and they didn't have a lot of the in-between trims, but they had some Type R's and SI's, and they were trying to push me into those, but wasn't interested. It's a nice looking car though, $42,000, 9,000 miles. Actually, did they have Type R's, or am I just thinking of the SI? Can't remember if they had a Type R or not. Because I think I don't know what the production numbers on them are, but I'm sure they're rarer than the SIs. But yeah, I'm digressing. 91 Oldsmobile Bravada. Got a 2019 E63 S-Wagon. These are kind of crazy. I mean, it's like 600 horsepower and like this somewhat unsuspecting wagon, which is kind of crazy, but not a fan of wagons, but you gotta respect the car. Looks like they took the badges off after the fact, but they still have photos of it with the badges from before. I'm so confused. Are the badges on it, or are they off? Yeah, I mean, this thing will do. Even though it's like a wagon and it looks kind of unsuspecting, this thing will do like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. Very nice interior. Honestly, not crazy though. I mean, for how expensive of a car it is, it's at $72,000 with 2 days left. 28,000 miles in Maryland. I don't know. V8. Got the 4MATIC Plus, which is their all-wheel drive system. So 4MATIC Plus just means all-wheel drive. It's the same way that like X-Drive on the back of a BMW means all-wheel drive. I believe it's just called 4MATIC with no plus sign at the end if it's not an AMG. Yeah, 603 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. Pretty crazy. GTS. Do not really like the look of that. .325i Touring Tacoma Baja Series. Got a 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. I don't know if I've looked at these before. I'm really not a fan of them, but you know, we'll take a look at it. I mean, for like, I think it starts at like 60 grand. For that, I think it's kind of underwhelming. I don't think it looks that great. I know it's an SUV and they just are more expensive in general, but I mean, I think it's got a decent 0 to 60, like maybe 3.5 seconds, something like that. But they have this weird, like, 5-second cap. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's like you're only allowed to draw full power from the battery for like 5 continuous seconds before the battery has like a recharge, or like protection, cooldown, something weird. And a lot of people have been complaining about it or didn't know about it before they bought it, but just think it's a tough sell given the competitors on the market. And also, I'm just not a huge fan of EVs to begin with, but 2 days left, $22,000, only 6,800 miles in Georgia. Yeah. Got an old BMW here, E36, 1995 M3 Coupe, auto work tune. I'm not sure what that is. It is a nice looking car. I'm not sure how I feel about the when people make the rivets that they use different colors. I think sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks bad. It definitely makes the car look less sleek. It's for some sort of wide body kit in this instance, it looks like, but kind of wish they hadn't put those on because I think it would have looked better without them standing out. But it's a nice looking car, that's for sure. I don't know, I know it's more for performance, but I'm not a fan of the like extended length shifters. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you guys, I like learned to drive manual this weekend. There's this place near me that like will give you like an instructor and like a car to use, and I priced pretty reasonable, so I went and did it. Like, super fun. I'm so glad I went and did it. And like, that was my big thing, is like, if I ever wanted to buy a manual, like, or if I ever wanted to buy a sports car, I'd want to know if I wanted it manual or automatic, but that involves learning to drive manual first so you can make that decision. And I can honestly say I'm a huge fan of the manual. Super fun. I just learned in like a Mazda 3, but it was a great time. This one has 200,000 miles on it. Tampa, Florida. Yeah, not my cup of tea, but it's a nice looking car. Got an old 1 Series here. S63 AMG. I love the way these look. They've grown on me so hard, but like just this generation. Just so classy. I feel like the outside ages really well on these cars, but the inside leaves a little bit to be desired. What's it at? 15,800 miles. Was it automatic? Yeah, it was automatic. 61,000 miles, Campbell, California. I mean, it's not going for an insane amount of money, but it is kind of old. But yeah, big fan of them, especially kind of crazy because I think this goes for like 150 grand, 160 grand, maybe more new. You know, obviously 13 years ago, but pretty nuts. Lexus 470. This is really cool. I saw this on the featured, so I looked it up. I did not know this off the top of my head, but a Camaro Yanko. So the deal is, apparently there was some sort of rule from GM back in the 60s. And when they were coming out with Camaros then, they couldn't have like over 400 horsepower, or there was some limitation. And so some dealer named Don Yanko would take the Camaros that he got from from Chevy or GM, and he would engine swap them, and they were referred to as like Yanko Camaros. And so that's kind of like persisted, and now they're made by some like other company called Specialty Vehicle Engineering, but I guess it's like still under the same name. I don't know how that like handoff happened, if he like sold the rights to it or something, but you can see even on the looks like on the calipers it says Yanko, and there's a little Yanko badge, and it's branded everywhere. But really funny. But I think this will do like 1,000 horsepower, just something insane. And obviously they're like super limited, so this is one of 25. But you know, other than that, kind of just looks like a normal Camaro. It's not like rough where they'll like completely re-outfit the car, but it's cool nonetheless. It's like a tuning company essentially, but they're engine swapping. 65K, 2 days left, 6,100 miles in Florida. Cool story behind that. Got an SQ7, got a WRX, old Cadillac CTS. Not a big fan of Cadillac. 7 Series. Land Cruiser, Rivian, 911 Carrera. It's a pretty nice looking Z06 right here. 3LZ trim. I'm not too familiar with the trims on the Corvettes, but I'm guessing this is not a base model because it's going for $130,000 with 2 days left. I do really like the color scheme. I think this color with the white on the outside looks phenomenal. Only 200 miles, so basically brand new. Bensalem, Pennsylvania. It's an interesting name. I guess it adds luxury and technology features. 670 horsepower, V8. Nice, nice, nice. Got an 03 M3 Coupe E46 right here. I say this every time I look at the real old BMWs, but you know, not my favorite. Just classic car. I gotta look at it, gotta respect it. But definitely a little old for my tastes. I say this with this not even being the oldest one we've seen today. Manual, obviously. Leather seats, pretty torn up shifter there. But I guess this is 21 years old now. Wow, it can drink. Got a nice C63 S sedan here, AMG. I don't know, the new Mercedes just don't do it for me like the old ones do. Like that one I was just showing you. I don't love this like huge brandished logo and how the hood kind of bulges out now. As before, it was like kind of sleek. This is cool though. Whoops. Got another 430. I know we've seen a crap ton of 430s and 360s, but this one is yellow. This is the Scuderia, which is like their Ferrari's racing division. Not to be confused with the 360 Modena, which is named after like a place in Italy that there's a lot of racing presence. I kind of wish it had no silver. I think that like purely black and yellow would have looked better than with the silver, but just my 2 cents. Kind of going for that like bumblebee-ish look. Carbon fiber. I mean, it's a really, really cool looking car. Got the fire extinguisher in there, yes sir. Pretty cool interior. I like it. Going for $170,000 with 3 days left. 27,000 miles. Los Angeles, of course. Got an old Accord wagon. It's crazy to think about, like, how long that the Accord has been around. I think even with this one that had been out for like 15 or 20 years. I think it was like late 70s it came out. It's a classic Accord. Got an E90 M3 competition here. I do like the look of these. I think the E92 looks a little bit better, but you get kind of that same body style here. It's the tail looks a little different. Tail lights are a little different. But it is a cool looking car. That's the thing on the older BMWs is I think with the new BMWs they've done a much better job making the competition stand out as a competition. Pretty basic interior. I don't like when the leather is like almost like pasty white-ish. It's like I like it when it's a little darker, a little more natural colored. Pretty clean car though. Going for $40,000. Wow. 18,500 miles, Irvine, California. And of course we got my Miata here. I feel like those fog lights look weird. Don't think all models have that. I feel like I would have noticed that before. But maybe I'm just oblivious. And this is the retractable fastback model. So it has the kind of like a Targa top. But looks really nice. Very clean and black. What's it at? 17 grand, 3 days left. 6,000 miles. 6,000 Miatas. In Massachusetts, interesting place to have a Miata. Got a WRX STI. Extensive modifications. This guy's got a freaking plane in the background of his Mercedes. Not to flex or anything, but wow, this thing is crazy. We got a 2020 AMG GTR Roadster, and it's a convertible. Well, that's the Roadster, but crazy looking car. I'm pretty sure the convertible is like a $30,000 option. So you're dropping like so much more money than even just getting the normal AMG GTR. It's one of 750 in the world, I guess. Pretty quick car, obviously, but you know, for the money, what would you expect? $120,000, 3 days left, 9,000 miles. It's in actually Quebec, Canada, not even in the US. As cool as I think these are, I actually don't love the look of them. I know it's like the way the engine is set up, but how far back the actual passenger is, like the seating in relation to the rest of the car, feels a little weird to me. I know that's intentional, but cool car. Lotus Esprit V8, V8. These things are sick. I think these look amazing. You know, it's kind of that same Almost reminds you of like a Lamborghini Diablo or what else am I thinking of? Like an Acura / Honda NSX. Excuse me, I definitely meant the Lamborghini Countach versus the Diablo, although the Diablo doesn't look as far off either. But really sick car. I think they made this one was like 96 to 04 for the V8 model. I think before that there was a bunch of different models, I think. Might have been the Turbo, what it was called before this, can't remember. Really cool looking car. Unique. Pop-up headlights. Lotus has made some really cool stuff. You know, I pick and choose what I'm a fan of theirs, but it's all unique. You can't deny that. Going for $45,000 with 3 days left. 25,000 miles. It's in Illinois. Yeah, and the color scheme that Doug's talking about, he's right. The tan with this red just looks phenomenal. Got an old 7 Series. Jaguar F-Type Coupe. Chevy Coupe. Super WRX. Audi SQ5. Got an R33 Skyline here. I feel like we've actually seen a decent amount of Skylines and GTRs lately. Not gonna spend too much time on it, but they're nice looking cars. Not my favorite, but cool nonetheless. Gotta love them. Old Mustang. What else? What else we got? Mazda 3 hatchback, Mazda Speed, I should say. It's pretty cool. Land Rover Defender. Oh, GT3, that is clean. I love this color scheme. Montana GT3 Touring. Yeah, I mean, it looks just insane. They're all nice. I mean, GT2, GT3, GT4. I love them all. They're just so well done. $230,000 left, 6 days, 800 miles. Oh, it's actually in Dallas, Texas. Gorgeous, gorgeous. E63 wagon. Got another Lotus, wow. This is the Evora. I actually like this car. 2020 Lotus Evora GT. Only 10 miles, so basically new. For the money, I think this is a really cool car. I think it goes for like $100,000 new. I mean, it's not the fastest car you could get for $100,000. I think we're talking like 4 seconds 0 to 60, but I mean, for the money and the looks of this car, it's a really cool car. Super unique. It looks like a sports car that's, would cost way more. $67,000, 6 days left in Utah. 416 horsepower, supercharged V6 and a manual. Yeah, I can talk about manual stuff now because I've done it once. Got a V8 Vantage, Aston Martin. I've looked at a couple of those. Honestly, gonna skip over it because they don't excite me too much, and I'm sorry to say that. S6 Ford Taurus SHO Performance Package. Don't think I'm familiar with that. Got a 2020 C51 Performance Package. Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Coupe. That is a mouthful. It's a pretty clean looking Corvette. I do like the color scheme, I'll say. The black accents with the tinted windows with the red, I think looks really good. These probably deserve more love. I think they just get played out because so many people get seen in them. They're not a super expensive, sports car to have. Corvettes have always been like the affordable midlife crisis car. Got another Hummer. 2013 M5. 560 horsepower V8. Looks pretty clean, honestly, nothing insane. I do think I tend to lean towards the being a fan of the M3 over the M5, but they're obviously both gorgeous cars. How about some larger view shots, buddy? Nice looking interior, it is automatic. Mini Cooper, Macan, Range Rover, long wheelbase. Got a Porsche Boxster Spider here, and another Lotus Esprit. No way. I'm probably saying it wrong also, so feel free to correct me in the comments if you know the actual pronunciation. I don't remember. Don't love the how the rears look on these cars because of the convertible, but interesting that they chose to feature this. I guess it's nice. Yeah, so this is a couple years prior to the V8 that we looked at. So this is the turbo. 4-cylinder engine, 260 horsepower. Definitely doesn't look quite as nice as the one we saw earlier, but a cool car nonetheless. Arizona. 2015 M3. Got a Bentley Continental going for $155,000. 1,700 miles, 650 horsepower, twin turbo W12. Someone did this just to be funny. 155555. 7 days left. Immediately bid to 155 grand. That's insane. Long Island City, New York, so right outside Manhattan. 1,700 miles. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not a fan of these for the money. Would never buy a Bentley personally. But I get they're a huge status symbol, so I get why people buy them. And they're obviously, very nice cars, but I just think for the price. What's it got on mileage? 1,700 miles. Nice. 911 Carrera, Civic Si, okay. A Cayman, I do like the Cayman. You guys know I like that smaller Porsche body. Got an S3. Got an R35 GTR, another GTR. We've seen so many of these. This one's in this nice blue. I am a fan of the color. Looks to be in decent shape. I do probably honestly lean more towards some of these new ones than the like R32, R33, but I think it's just personal preference. I think some of these people soup them up like we saw one last video in a way that I just hate them, but I think this one looks really nice. Pretty nice looking car. Going for $38,000 with 7 days left, 43,000 miles. It's in Arizona as well. It's like 2 Arizona cars in a row. Got an old Z06. M4 Coupe Competition 2018. To a certain degree with the, M3s, M4s, M5s. You've seen them once, you've seen them all. Obviously, there's some nuance between the different years, but you see a pretty large volume on here, so you can kind of get through all the ones that you may or may not have seen before after a couple weeks, and then you kind of see a lot of the same ones recycled. But, amazing car nonetheless. Only going for $3,900 right now, although it was just listed today. 19,000 miles. It's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I think that's where University of North Carolina is, UNC. I guess somewhat low mileage for a car being like 5-6 years old, but there's the GL 550. That's the old, before they changed it to GLS. This is the old 3-row SUV. And they're ending with a Miata. Nice looking car. I've seen him before on the channel, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave some comments, suggestions, feedback down below, and see y'all next time. Peace.